Hi guys, I welcome you all to day 47 of our anthropology lecture series. So we had already started the topic religion. So let's proceed with it. So basically yesterday we were talking about the approaches to study religion, right? And as you know कि हमारा basic even though we study both primitive simple societies, but our focus is more on the simple societies, right? So yesterday we had already covered the evolutionary's point of view to study the religion, and then we had also covered the psychoanalytic part, right? So after this, a major school of thought is functionalist. Okay, see this functionalist, these functionalists or evolutionists. Now finally we are going to read them in the next chapter, so abhi se you will understand a little bit of them. Baki, when you will understand those theories na, that the sixth chapter itself, the full sixth chapter, so you will get a more comprehensive understanding of these topics also, because ye sab kuch uh, is going to repeat there. So our topic today would be, we had already completed in approaches other two, so today we'll do the functional approach. So basically functional, the word itself talks about function. It comes from the word function, right? So function क्या है, as in the role of religion. Evolution में evolutionists का view was more of origin of religion, right? Psychoanalytic का ज़्यादा था कि how it plays with the not plays but how it is connected to the mind, right? And the emotions of a person. Now functionalism talks about what is the role of religion, because when this evolutionists were reading na, uh, it was a very futile exercise कि religion actually कहाँ से आया, because in the dearth of evidence you cannot conclusively say कि कहाँ से आया होगा, right? So in that times, to study about evolution, functionalists believe that it's a futile exercise. We should rather look at the role or the function it plays in fulfilling the needs of individuals and the society. So you need to know that there are two people who are very important in functionalism school, that is Brown and Malinowski. Okay, even though they both belong to the school of functionalist thought, but दोनों में थोड़ा difference है. One talks about more individual aspect and one talks about societal aspect. ठीक है? That means one के लिए it's more about the functions towards the society, and for other it is more the functions towards the individual. So that is where both of these would differ. Otherwise the underlying meaning is ki what is the need it is fulfilling, right? So they believe that, जैसे for example, functionalists believe that religion is a part of society, one part of society. That means एक society है that is made up of many ideas or parts, like family is a part, political institutions are a part, economic institutions are part, religious institutions are part, and every part plays a role towards the society at large. Religion का reason कुछ और होगा, right? Political institutions का reason कुछ और होगा, like that. So पहले हम बात करते हैं, let's first talk about Malinowski. Malinowski studied the Trobriand Islanders, and he believed that religion was intimately connected with various emotional states. For example, there's a famine, ठीक है, there's a drought like situation, so automatically the people would become a lot, they will feel fear, right? They will feel anxiety. So to purge that fear and to purge that strain in their lives, ठीक है, they need to connect to somebody whom they feel it is all powerful, they can do everything. For example, ऐसा हमारी लाइफ में होता है ना, जब whenever we get stuck into a situation where we think that now there is no coming out of this, we automatically start thinking about God. Oh God, please help me, please help me. What is that? In your emotional state of mind, when you have feelings of, and it is not only fearful feelings or feelings of angst and anxiousness. It's not only that. In every feeling, in every emotion, there is a connect. There is a connect with the supernatural. And Malinowski बात इसी के बारे में कर रहे हैं कि it's more about the individual's emotion, because any time when you feel there's some sadness in your life, there's some you're lacking peace, you want to connect to the God, because you want that peace in your life, that harmony in your life. So this is the role, this is the stabilizing factor, that all powerful factor is the God. So Malinowski thinks like this, but Brown bolte ki no, it's not about the individual, it's about the dependence on the society. Survival of the group is more important than survival of the individual. Now try to just understand what is he trying to say. Basically he is saying, okay fine, individual's survival is also important, but not as important as society, because as we talked that humans are innate social beings, right? That means unke liye society is very important, and society is so much important that individuals ke needs and aspirations come subordinate to that of society, because if you have to survive, you need to be in a group, ठीक है, and उस group में there should be solidarity, because the day that group divides or disintegrates, the survival of the man would become very difficult. So the needs or the wishes of the society at large are more important, and it does not matter ki individual ki what is individual's wishes, right? So basically Brown is saying that to keep the society intact, religion plays a role, because see, any group of people who follow the similar religion, right, will have similar feelings towards the God. They will have साथ में बैठ के they will pray, right? They will carry out ritual activities, right? They work in tandem. There's unity, right? So this is what will keep social cohesion. This will what keep the society going. So he believes that it instills dependence on society to a man. Ki what is the role of religion? Religion इंसान का it's a link between man and society. It creates a dependence of man on the society, because whenever there will be any problem, religion would come to the rescue. So I hope you've understood. This was the last theory जो हमको इसमें पढ़ना था. But इसके अलावा I have put in some contemporary views of studying the religion also. For example, there is Marx's view. So Marx basically he thought that religion, as he said, religion is opium for masses. That means it eases the pain produced by exploitation. What happens, like opium, when anybody consumes opium, तो क्या होता है, your reactionary time goes down, right? You do not react to things, you go in that zen state. So religion is like that for the people, because whenever people are oppressed, ठीक है, they feel exploited, right? You must have read this in the history also. Whenever people were oppressed by any group in the world, whether it was racism, it was slavery, that was untouchability in India, any kind of oppression that took place, it was in the name of God. That means if you will do this, you will achieve God, or this is the will of the God, right? So this is how people have manipulated the oppressed classes, right? Capitalism is also any kind of exploitation that has happened like this. So what happens is, when people are exploited, right, they feel that solace in God, right? Because if the untouchables were told that this is how you were born, and if you do not carry out the activities of your caste, and then you will not be able to achieve the salvation, right? And maybe in the next life, you will be born as a higher caste. So this was how the people used to believe, and this was all based on religion, na, ki this is your God, this is the this is what your God wants. He wants कि आप इस जन्म में you should carry out the activities of the lower caste, right? So it makes the person's mind numb to exploitation. It does, people stop reacting to it. People live in that status quo. It doesn't try to change the status quo because it believes ki okay, things were meant to be like this and they will be like this, right? So I hope you understood this point of view. Then there's a feminist perspective to it also. Now what feminists believe is that religion is a product of patriarchy. Now I would say this here, that not all feminists would believe like this. This would be a more radical feminist approach, okay? So yeah, but whoever matlab, like people, there were like Simone de Beauvoir, like that, whoever has talked about this feminine perspective, they believe that religion is a product of patriarchy, okay? And this religion or patriarchy has been the instrument of oppression and domination for the women. For example, I'll tell you, women are the people who are more inclined towards religion, right? They propagate religion. They are the people who will disseminate this religion to their future generations, right? But even then, religion has been a little discriminating towards females, in the sense that we will put more emphasis on the gods. Have you ever seen in any religion, though there may be goddesses जिनका पूजा भी होता है, right? It's not like कि only gods are getting worshipped, but will you ever see any religion whose apex god is a female? There is not, na? And many a times, females are considered not very important in religion. For example, priests की बात कर लो, right? Not many female priests are there. So whatever it is, the feminist perspective is religion has been, even though the propagators of religion are females, right? But even then, it has not given females that status it should have given it, right? So this was the feminist perspective. And then there is compensators perspective, or you can say consumerism का perspective. इसमें basically क्या है, which religion is giving you or offering you what? So it's a very, very like new age capitalistic consumeristic world's viewpoint, because what it is saying, ultimately people will only follow the thing that is convenient to them, right? For example, today a lot of extreme ideologies of religion are not very significant, because people are not ready to be that extreme. मतलब इतना कट्टर you can't follow it. It's difficult to go on that path and follow it, right? जैसे कि अगर हम दिगंबर्स की बात कर ले, ठीक है? Digambars have to lead a very difficult life. Yet, even till today, the people who follow the sect, they have to lead a very hard life. They cannot have assets. They only have to ask for food and eat, and they cannot have food more than what they require just to live, right? Even till today they will not wear clothes, right? So in today's world, it is not possible to live like that. So people ultimately go to things which are more convenient for them. For example, today people feel that with changing times, the religion should also change, right? So this is what it believes. Who gives better compensation? Who would give a better afterlife experience? Jo religion would make you feel that in afterlife this would happen to you, and this is how you can achieve the salvation. People would ultimately go to that thing, right? जैसे कि हिंदू धर्म में it was believed that there are 4 stages of life, and you have to live through those 4 stages. That was brahmacharya, right? Then grihastha जीवन, right? उसमें then एक point के बाद sannyas, you have to take sannyas, right? So today nobody is taking sannyas, na, because that is becoming very tough, right? Nobody detaches themselves to the worldly things. So whosoever compensates the best is the religion people are going to choose, and it's not a bad thing also. I mean, these are just point of views. not to be, you should not think that we should relate ourselves very seriously to any of it, because आपको just understand करना है for academic point of view कि what are these approaches trying to say. Do not really attach yourself to any of it, right? I am just giving you the perspectives. Now this topic is finished. Today we'll do 2 topics more, and we'll wrap up the chapter, not the chapter, sorry, the lesson. So types of religion. Now majorly there are 2 type of religions. One is the monotheistics and one is the polytheistic religions. So mono, the word mono itself says one, poly means many, so that is what the difference is all about. If there is a belief in only one god, that means it's monotheism, and when there is belief in many gods, then it becomes polytheism. Now we have studied in the last lecture also, the origin has been from different sources, but largely there was a time when there was no religion. Then there came many kinds of religions, which will be the topic for tomorrow. Animism, fetishism, totemism, animatism, right? ये सब, these words कल हम अच्छे से पढ़ेंगे इसको. This is not the topic for the day. So then these kind of religions came in. Then came the polytheism, and then finally monotheism. So now the people who believe in this is Morgan also, evolutionists also, who have tried to find a sequence in every thing, like even in religion, because they were evolutionists, so they believed that there was a sequence, ठीक है, from being barbaric to, sorry, from being savage to barbaric to civilized, ठीक है, every other institution has also evolved, and so has the religion. So basically for evolutionists, the ultimate or the last religion would be monotheism, right? And for and second last would be polytheism, but it is not true. Okay, ऐसा नहीं है. Even till today we are living in a civilized society, but civilized society में polytheism India में ही follow हो रहा है, right? Polytheism is followed in India itself. So are we not a civilized nation? So that's a point that you can think on, right? So let's get now, I hope you understand what is polytheism, monotheism. Now let's see further subclassifications. So in monotheism, there could be basic monotheism, which believes basically that there is only one god, okay? Everybody is worshipping this one god and there's only one god. Inclusive monotheism says even if there are other gods, like there is a pantheon of 10 gods, okay? Let's suppose that there is pantheon of 10 gods, but they are all names of one god only. That means जैसे because I'm in Hindu, I can more relate to that. जैसे हम बोलते हैं ब्रह्मा विष्णु महेश, सब it's the name of the same god, right? Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, right? So like that. So inclusive monotheism, there is one god. Even if there are others, they are just the names of the same god, right? Exclusive monotheism says no, there is only one god, and if there are any others, they are false gods or they are not gods at all. Matlab they are demons or false gods. That means they believe that there can only be one god. Inclusive में क्या है, अगर बाकी हैं, they are just the names of the same god, ठीक है? Then there is pluriform monotheism also. It believes that there will be one main god and others manifestation of the same god. जैसे कि हम बोलते हैं ना कि जैसे अवतार्स है ना, हिंदू गॉड्स में भी ऐसे अवतार्स का कॉन्सेप्ट रहा है कि जैसे राम जी भी अवतार थे, लाइक दैट, राइट? सो देर इज ओनली वन गॉड, एवरीबडी एल्स was the manifestation of that god only. So I hope you have understood the monotheism, but of course Hindu religion, I'm just giving the example for you to understand it. Hinduism is not a monotheistic religion, it's a polytheistic religion, right? So now let's see, there's one more kind of religion, that is religious dualism. ठीक है, this is very different. it believes that there will be one good and there will be one bad, and they will not bad, you can say evil, whatever. So they will basically दोनों को ही पूछते हैं. Even at many times they will pray the evil god more, because they believe that good तो इतना बुरा नहीं कर, good will always do good irrespective of the fact that we pray for him or not, but evil has the power to even destroy us. So they will pray to the evil god more, so that he is he remains in good humor, so to say, right? So there is a universal good and bad. So there is a god and a demon, या फिर आप कह सकते हो god and anti god. So they believe in balance of power, that there is good and bad equally there, and they pray both. So Zoroastrianism is one such religion where you will find this religious dualism, and in many tribes you will find such. ठीक है, in Chota Nagpur plateau also there are tribes that follow this religious dualism. So this is what it is now. This is the diversity, world is so diverse that you will find so many types of things. There is no one type, right? Even in religion के भी बहुत सारे types हैं. And then comes your polytheism. So polytheism is basically belief and worship of many gods. So इसमें there is a henotheism, that means कि even though there is one god but others can exist. That means जैसे कि हम बोलते हैं ना, there are मतलब 36 करोड़ देवी देवता है in Hindu religion, but you do not pray to all of them, right? आप उन सबको तो pray नहीं कर सकते. You pray to some one god. For example, somebody would be a large worshipper of Krishna, somebody would be a large worshipper of Shiva, but that doesn't take away from the fact that you do not recognize other gods, right? So that is henotheism. Then there is unlimited polytheism. That means there are so many gods and you will worship every god based on the requirement. For example, on मतलब if you want to, कभी हम लक्ष्मी की पूजा करेंगे, कभी हम दुर्गा की पूजा करेंगे, right? Sometimes when you have to start or initiate any ceremony, then there will be Ganesh की पूजा, right? So based on the occasion there are different gods and every god is worshipped. So see how you can take examples of mostly all things from Hinduism only, right? So there is so much of diversity even there. And classic Greek and Roman religion is also based on unlimited polytheism. उनके भी बहुत सारे gods है, मतलब god of मतलब everything. They have this pantheon of gods. ठीक है? So this was the types, and now I have put this picture for you to understand that these are religious symbols for different religions, which have different meaning for everything, because this I put because we are going to study now sacred and profane. So as we had done in the yesterday's definition also, which was given by Emily Durkheim, it was basically the belief which is belief and practices related to sacred things, है ना? He used the word sacred, while the word used by E.B. Tyler was supernatural beings, right? So sacred, he used the word sacred, Emily Durkheim, and this dichotomy of sacred and profane was demonstrated by Emily Durkheim only, ठीक है? And according to him, it is universal. Now do not get scared. What is it? I'll just let you understand. Basically, now let's try and understand. I'll take two examples, okay? For Hindus, I'll take the example of a cow. For Sikhs, I will take the example of a kirpan. ठीक है? For Christians, example could be a church or any other religious symbol, okay, like that. So for Islam also you can take the holy, that not even if you want to take that holy Quran, but वो एक एक दरगाह पे चद्दर डालते हैं ना, that cloth, right? Let's take the example of that. मुझे उसका नाम exactly I'm missing that name, so I'll just write the holy cloth, right? I do not remember the name. I'm so sorry. So and then I'll take a very mundane routine thing. Let's take the example of food. or let's take the example of clothing, or let's take the example of house. ठीक है? These are very routine, mundane things, right, which have a very utilitarian purpose. Utilitarian क्या होता है? जो you know which we utilize, which has a intrinsic value जिसको हम use करते हैं, right? These are very non-utilitarian things. Now you'll say cow तो utilitarian भी है, that is there of course, but apart from that ऐसे तो everything has a you know purpose to serve, but it is not that you know उनका utility. For example, if we do not want to take the example of cow, तो हिंदुइज्म में example ले लो तिलक का, ठीक है? तिलक लगाना या that sacred thread, right, that janau, right, sacred thread. Now it doesn't serve any utility, right? मतलब it does serve a utility in the sense that वो it connects you to the god and all of that is fine, but उसका एक utilitarian purpose नहीं है. That means that is not a thing which you will use in your routine life, right? So this is what the difference is there between sacred and profane. So now basically अगर हम बोले जो sacred चीज़ें हैं, even though they are the worldly things and they could be things which are not worldly also. For example, they could be anything could be a sacred thing. It could be a stone, right? It could be a tree also, anything. But then when you attach certain feelings to it, na, which are very sacred to you, your beliefs, your values, right, your religious values, then it becomes a sacred thing. And profane is something which is very very usual, right? So this was it. So sacred is holy, that means you know you worship it. It is not things which is everydays, but profane is common, it's everyday things, right? Sacred जो है, it is often it's called sacred because it is religious, right? It serves you certain religious purpose. That is why it is called as sacred. It is superior because आप कभी भी you know you will not keep those two things like similarly. For example, जब आप अपना sacred thread पहनते हो, you know you will always keep it very safely and you will always feel very respectful towards it. For and same चीज़ अगर आगे मैं आपके मोबाइल फ़ोन की बात करूँ, even though that's expensive, but that's not something जो you know आप उसके पूजा तो नहीं करते ना, that's not something you worship or that is not something you respect. That is just a utilitarian thing that you are going to use and throw away after some times. But sacred में ऐसा नहीं होता. Even if it is like an image of God you have from 20 years, 25 years, it is still going to hold the same relevance in your life. So I hope I'm making the points clear. Then sacred things can be polluted by profane. Obvious ही बात है. For example, often times you know when you enter the mandir, you know you will take out the shoes, you know you will not wear dirty clothes, and then there are a lot of things you will go when you'll take a bath and go to the mandir. So all of these is what you know that profane or the worldly things can pollute the sacred. So then you take the actions like that, and it is non-utilitarian. We have talked about it. It is related to the supernatural, of course, because somewhere down the line it is connected to God, right? That is why it is sacred. Everything that is there in religion which is sacred has some ritual purpose or some religious purpose, right? It is symbolic, yes, of course. जो हवन कुंड बनाते हैं, right, in Hinduism, और you know जब आप दरगाह पे चादर चढ़ाते हो, all of that is what? It is symbolic. It is symbolic to the respect that you show towards your culture or towards your religion, right? And sacred things are never performed in a routine way. That means they are special. They have special place and times. Of course, that is true. If you, whenever you do any puja or anything, you will always wait for the mahurat, right? The right time. So this is what it is. Sacred things doesn't happen in a routine life. You have the right time and right place for it. Whereas profane is non-religious. That means it's very routine. It is utilitarian. We have talked about it, and it is related to worldly life. So now, even though this dichotomy was talked about by Emily Durkheim, and he said that this is universal. That means it is there in all cultures, all religions. ठीक है? Even Evans Pritchard studied this in Newers. Okay, but even then there was a lot of criticism to this theory, including Evans Pritchard also said, even though he studied it in Newers, but he thought that there was no very मतलब there was no relevance to this concept. इतना ज़्यादा importance देने की इसको ज़रूरत है नहीं. ठीक है? So Emily Durkheim, before I go to the criticism, he believed that the origin of sacred things have come from the totemism. Now basically हुआ क्या था, this Emily Durkheim studied the Arunta tribes of Australia. ठीक है? They were the Australian Aborigines, and so basically they are divided into clans. Clans हमने पढ़ा है ना, clans, fratry, moieties, that ways. Clans बहुत सारे lineage से मिलके बनते हैं, right? So like that. So every clan has a different a totem. Totem क्या है? Totem could be anything which is like a plant, tree, animal, stone, anything. ठीक है? Whether living, non-living, कुछ भी हो सकता है, which they put their faith into. For example, एक clan का totem tiger हो सकता है. ठीक है? Other clan का totem कोई tree हो सकता है. Other clan का totem कोई specific stone हो सकता है जो उनको कहीं से मिला हो, right? So this is how they, किसी का sword हो सकता है, right? So totem is anything which they put their faith into and they start worshipping it, and they believe and they truly recognize themselves very, very close to that totem. They are in awe of that totem. They believe that that totem is the savior of the clan. ठीक है? It will bring them good luck. They will always be very respectful towards the clan, towards the totem. They will never kill the totem. For example, in the case of जिनका tiger है, ठीक है, और जिनका ये tree है, they will never cut this tree, or they will never kill the tiger. ठीक है? Because that is their in which they have put all their faith into, right? So ये तो it is true for us also. For example, Hindus में cow is a very important animal, right? तो we will not ever kill cow, right? ऐसे हम नहीं करते generally, because हमारा feeling and faith is attached to it. So this is what it is all about. But then there was criticism to this theory, which was it was done by Jack Goody on this universality, because what Emily Durkheim said, that basically this sacred and profane is universal phenomena. That means it occurs in every religion, culture, like that. But Jack Goody said no. There are societies that do not even have any word that translates into sacred and profane. See, language is very important, because language say you can understand a lot about the culture, the society. For example, ठीक है, जैसे there's a very interesting word loot that is taken in the English dictionary, because they did not, when Britishers came to India, they saw कि कुछ loot का concept होता है, कि कुछ loot के ले जाना, like that. ठीक है? But they had not seen a concept like this. ठीक है? So they did not have a word like it. ठीक है? Only when they saw it in मतलब in India, उन्होंने सबसे ज़्यादा किया है, and सबसे ज़्यादा तो Indians ने loot इस्तेमाल ही उनके लिए किया था. But nevertheless, when they came across a concept like that, they added it in their dictionary, right? So this is what it is. If you do not know about a concept, you will not have a word also for it, right? So this is what Jack Goody's criticism is all about, that many cultures do not have such words only. That means they do not have that concept also, because words tab aayenge when you have those concepts, right? So Jack Goody believed that it was just a product of European religious thought, because Europe में there's a lot like that, because जो चीज़ें sacred हैं वो they are very important, they are supernatural and all of that. So hence Jack Goody said that this is not universal, this is just a product of European religious thought, because वहाँ पे there's a concept of this. And even Buddhism disapproves this thought, because जैसे Buddhism talks about मध्यम मार्ग, so वो तो मध्यम मार्ग क्या है? It is all about being in the on the middle path, right? That means वो dualism को disapprove करते हैं, the dualism of sacred and profane, because this से अगर ये sacred है तो ये profane है, they are ends of the extreme ends of one pole. But Buddhism talks about the madhyam marg, that means ये भी नहीं, right? So it also disapproves dualism. So I hope you've understood the topic for today. We'll take 1 or 2 lectures more because I want to cover this chapter also very holistically, and it is very important chapter. So I hope you guys loved the lecture, you liked it, and if you liked, please then share and subscribe with others also, and we'll try and finish it by tomorrow. If not tomorrow, day after tomorrow to pakka, right? So guys, thank you so much.